The company that cocked. This is what we're looking at. MagFest is an event which takes place in Washington, and it celebrates video games and music. And last year, it had a little bit of beef with Kotaku, something which likes to call itself as a journalistic video gaming outlet. And this happened at the peak of the COVID hysteria, right? Where people at Kotaku were very concerned about their health and safety. So they went after MagFest, which was relaxing some of the prevention measures. And Kotaku, right, they're a strong journalistic outlet with a team of medical experts, and they said, oh my god, MagFest is killing grandma. And they went like clickety-clack and wrote a very hateful, distasteful article attacking MagFest. But you know how it's like with journalists. I mean, they can dish it, but they can't take it. Even the smallest jokes is enough to rattle their cages. So MagFest did the unthinkable, and as you can see, the directions to the event, you can go right if you want to see the CCG. You can go upright if you want to see the Dungeons & Dragons Adventures League. But if you want to go and find Kotaku's journalistic integrity, 404 not found. Arch Warhammer said that he would do it better. He would put a line in the ground that's burning. And by the way, I agree, this is not a joke. It's not funny because it's true. Like, in order to make a joke, it needs to be funny. What is Kotaku's journalistic integrity anyway? Has any of you found it? Did any of one of you stole it? Because clearly it doesn't belong at Kotaku. So Kotaku does what it does best. You know, it starts whining. They go like, yeah, and they say, oh, this is like Gamergate. Oh, the horror. Oh, I would like to remind everyone that no illegal activity has been committed during Gamergate. The FBI looked into it. They couldn't find a single case. Not only that, none of the people at Kotaku were harmed in any way. I mean, it's been years since, so now we can look back at it. The only thing that was harmed was Kotaku's pockets, because they were writing very interesting and vile shit about gamers. And what gamers did is that they contacted Kotaku's advertisers and were like, do you guys stand for this? Is this what you stand for? Like, look, they're saying that gamers are a petri dish of people that live in their mother's basement and that they're sexist, racist, misogynist. Do you guys who sell products to gamers, do you stand for? And a lot of companies decided to pull ads from Kotaku, which, by the way, is a tactic that now the left uses constantly. I mean, they tried to use it against Tucker Carlson. They tried to use it against Ben Shapiro, right? Like contacting advertisers. Now it's a tactic that the left does it almost exclusively. But back then, it was both left-leaning and right-leaning people who identified as gamers. Like back then, the gaming identity was actually something that people identified with. And when that was under attack by publications like Kotaku, people went after their advertisers. This is why they don't like Gamergate, right? And this is why they're really afraid of this. It's not like, oh, misogynists online. They don't give a fuck. They can just close down their comment section. They can give disabilities to their comment section. They do not care about misogynists online. What they do care about is not having advertisers pulling out. So stuff like this is what hurts them, right? It hurts their, well, apparently they still have a brand. So they did the pressure, like maybe 5 or 10 people complained on Twitter, and immediately the MagFest cocked. It's like, oh, the MagFest official Twitter account has now acknowledged the issue. Oh, we did a joke that absolutely did not land. You know, like, dude, if you're going to make a joke, then stand with the joke. What is this? If you don't want to don't make the joke. Simple. Why are you doing this? Why are you pushing it up and then pulling it back down? It's better if you didn't put it up to begin with. It's not like something horrible. It's not illegal. Like even on social media, you're not violating terms of service. All right, you have free speech just as Kotaku has free speech. If Kotaku can insinuate that your company is hurting people, that your company is putting people into hospitals when they have no evidence that that's the case, then surely you can also put a small flyer making fun of their journalistic integrity. But I'm pretty sure like what happened is like behind the scenes, maybe someone from Kotaku went to a higher up at MagFest, or maybe they threatened them with something. It's like, hey, if you guys do not pull this down, we're never going to give you positive coverage again. Or maybe they happen to know someone that's from an advertiser that works with MagFest, This is Kotaku, right? This is their journalistic integrity. They can't take a little bit of joke. They can't even suffer like this 1, 2, 3 words. They can't suffer 3 words and an emoji. It's too much for them. It's too much. They just implode. A multi-million-dollar industry. This is how it gets taken down with 3 words and an emoji. For clarity, it was intended to poke fun at one line in an article written about our COVID response last year. It was immediately pulled from the floor. So in other words, do you stand for the line that Kotaku wrote? Were you actually killing grandma? Because now I'm curious. You're basically saying that, no, like Kotaku did have journalistic integrity. When they wrote that line about us, they were 100% true. The apology continued into a second tweet, again directed to Patrick and not the attendee who initially raised the issue. We understand that most people did not receive it as a... No, you don't understand shit. Okay, it wasn't most people. I dare you to make a poll. I am willing to bet if you make a poll, 90%, probably even more of the people like the joke. Make the poll, but this is what they don't like. They don't like democracy. They just claim they do. But when it's actually democratic, when you actually get people to vote, they don't like the results. And that it made people feel unsafe. How the fuck is this making people feel unsafe? By the way, feel unsafe means offensive. Alright, that's what it means. Feels unsafe means problematic. In other words, it's problematic to the ideology. Right? Like, that's what it means. And they don't want to say that. They don't want, because it doesn't sound good, right? Imagine if, in other words, this joke was problematic for the ideology that Kotaku tries to push. It sounds bad. Oh, it made people feel unsafe. Okay. That was a huge oversight and lack of awareness on our part. We're so deeply sorry to our community and Kotaku for this error. Oh my fucking god, kiss the pinky ring a little bit more. Kiss that fucking lick it. Lick the pinky ring of the masa, because, like, clearly this is what you're doing. Why did you even put it up to begin with, is my question. Why did you even put it up to begin with? The apology has led many to ask why this was not posted as a normal tweet on the MagFest account as opposed to a reply to a journalist. So even, like, of course, this is what happens when you apologize. It's never good enough. Never, ever. Under any circumstance. No matter what you do, you can kiss that pinky ring, you can suck that pinky ring in your mouth and move your tongue around like it's a lollipop. It doesn't matter. Like, you just cannot get away with an apology. It's not enough, ever. So, the post rapidly gained traction on Twitter, with some senior members of the game industry and media condemning it, particularly its perceived reference to the Gamergate movement. Yeah, sure. Because, like, you just can't criticize Kotaku now. You just can't criticize Kotaku, because Gamergate. Like, even if Kotaku accuses you of trying to murder grandma, you can't say anything bad against them. You're not allowed to even make a 3-letter post with an emoji. Too much for them. They can't stand it. They get PTSD. Kotaku was at the center of the Gamergate harassment campaign. Yeah, like the harassment campaign, which allegedly was against women, but we don't know why. Like why were video game... Like, why were boys going after women? Like, well, that's not explained, alright? But Kotaku, a journalistic outlet which hired, at the time, almost exclusively white men, like over 90% of the people working at Kotaku were white men, and they were at the center of the Gamergate harassment campaign. The movement fostered harassment of women and minorities in the game industry. Why? Do you know why they can't answer that? Because it's not true. The movement did not harass women and minorities in the game industry. That's why. They were harassing journalists without ethics from the game industry. That's what they were harassing. And this is why they don't like, it's like, notice how it's like, oh, it's about Gamergate. And Gamergate was about journalist outlets not having integrity. So they get triggered when you say that journalist outlets don't have integrity, right? Like, there's nothing here about women or minorities. And if it was, probably Kotaku wouldn't get triggered. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.